Assalamu alaykum. Karibuni tena. Happy New Year, my dear subscribers, my dear viewers, my dear students. Now, today in this video, we will be talking about one of the most common mistakes even native Swahili speakers do. And this is the case of the alphabet Ra and La. So stay with me, we'll be right back. Alright, now in this video we'll be talking about one of the most common mistakes that even native Swahili speakers do, and you will come across them if you haven't, if you watch Swahili movies, or if you watch if you listen to Swahili musics, if you get an opportunity to talk with a native Swahili speaker, you will come across these common mistakes, these little common mistakes, but they are so huge, and it's very important for you to know so that you don't get confused. Because if you are a beginner and come across these types of mistakes, you may get confused when trying to understand what exactly the person is talking about. For us native Swahili speakers, we know when those mistakes come up. We know what the person is talking about. But for a beginner, I can see it being a little difficult to identify exactly what the person is talking about. Now, this is the case of Ra and La. Okay, you will come across words that has the Ra sound because it has the alphabet Ra in it, and you will come across words that have the La sound because they have the alphabet La in them, and sometimes some native Swahili speakers mix these alphabet, and it may be because of their backgrounds, of their tribal backgrounds, because Tanzania or East Africa in general has a lot of tribes, and each tribe has its own native language. So I think that has some sort of influence to their Swahili speaking. So you may come across these mistakes if you have not yet, or you probably already have. So you will know what I'm talking about here. But if you haven't come across these mistakes, then at least you will know from now that probably what you hear is one of those mistakes that we are talking about in this video. Now, I'll give you an example. The word Rangi. Rangi. The word Rangi starts with the alphabet Ra. Ra. Now, sometimes some people, some native Swahili speakers, they don't say, they don't give out the Ra sound. Instead, they give out the La sound. So instead of saying Rangi, they say Langi, which is completely wrong, because the word Langi I think doesn't exist, and if it does, it will have a totally different meaning. But when they say Langi, they mean Rangi. Rangi is the correct word here. Okay? Now, sometimes you want to know the context. Okay? the context of the conversation, because sometimes you may come across words that actually have a meaning, but the person just did not say them correctly. Okay, so I will go through some of these other words that have the same nature. Okay, now Rangi is the correct word, but sometimes you may hear someone say Langi. Another example I'll give you is the word Kura. Kura. Sometimes you may hear people, instead of saying Kura, some people say Kula. Now Kula is another word, and it does exist, and it means to eat, like to eat food. Okay? So if someone says Kula, but they mean Kura, you may get confused. You may not know what they're talking about, right? But you need to know the context of the conversation, and that's when you identify the mistakes. Okay? If you were talking about elections and stuff like that, and someone says Kula, then you will know they actually mean Kura, which is a vote. Okay? If they talk about food and stuff and they say Kura instead of Kula, then you will know they're talking about to eat. Okay? So these are common mistakes that you will find or you will come across from the native Swahili speakers, and it's good for you to know. That way you don't get confused and ask yourself what this person is talking about. Now, let's go ahead and learn some more other words that have the same nature. People make the same mistakes, and this is the case of Ra and La. Alright, so let's learn more examples. Dhamira, 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 Dhamila, 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 Ramani, 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 Lamani, 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 Karamu, 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 Kalamu, 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 Gari, 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 Gali, 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 Barabara, 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 Balabala, Balabala, Balabala. Alright, now that's it. Those are just a few examples. There are a lot more, but we're not going to cover all of them in this video. But those are just a few of them, and I hope that you learned something new, something interesting. Most people probably will not teach you this, but I will show to you that way you can speak fluent, good Swahili. Okay, this is 2020, and our goal is to become fluent in Swahili, and we will do it. So stay with me. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, like the video, share the video, and I will see you in the next class. Don't forget to check description box for more details. I'll be putting more details in the description box, so be sure to check the description box for more details, and I'll see you next time. Kwaheri.